Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving into an absolutely incredible story. It's a clash between sheer human ambition and one of the most unforgiving environments on the entire planet, the mighty Himalayas. I mean, imagine a structure so massive, so incredibly daring, that for a long time, the world's top experts literally thought it was impossible to build. But, humanity has this funny way of ignoring the word impossible. We're going to explore a true modern marvel of engineering, a staggering project that doesn't just cross a river, but practically touches the sky.
Just take a look at that number, 359. That's the distance, in meters, from the roaring riverbed way down below to the steel tracks up top. Try to wrap your head around that scale for a second. If you were standing on the edge looking down, the drop is so immense it would induce vertigo in even the bravest thrill seekers. This isn't just a bridge, it's practically a monument suspended in the sky.
Part 1. A bridge above the clouds. Okay, let's dive into this. To really understand why this magnificent structure exists, we have to travel to the remote Riyasi district of Jammu and Kashmir in India. Here, the Chenab River carves a massive, deep, and completely treacherous gorge right through the Himalayan foothills. For decades, this rugged terrain stood as an impenetrable fortress. Connecting this mountainous region to the rest of India's railway network, well, that was considered the ultimate infrastructure challenge. It was a puzzle that demanded a solution unlike anything the world had ever seen. And the answer they came up with? A bridge built literally above the clouds. Let's put that mind-bending height into perspective. At right around 359 meters above the riverbed, the Chenab Rail Bridge easily dwarfs one of the most famous landmarks on Earth. It surpasses the height of the Eiffel Tower by more than 30 meters. Think about that. You could pick up the entire Eiffel Tower, place it at the bottom of this gorge, and you'd still have room to spare before you bumped your head on the bottom of this bridge. It's just a staggering visualization of vertical scale.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how these dimensions play out horizontally. So, we know it's incredibly tall, but it's also sprawling. The total length of the bridge is a massive 1,315 meters. But the true star of the show, the heavy lifter of this entire structure, is that main steel arch you see detailed over on the right. That arch alone spans about 467 meters directly across the most perilous part of the gorge. It's this brilliant contrast between the long, sweeping approach and the massive, concentrated geometry of the central support.
Part 2. Defying the Himalayas. Now, you don't build something this massive just for the sake of setting architectural records, right? You build it because the landscape absolutely demands it. The stakes for this project were nothing short of monumental. This bridge is the crown jewel of the Udhampur-Srinagar-Baramulla rail link. You see, for generations, the Kashmir Valley has been beautifully isolated, really locked away by its mountainous geography and severely harsh weather conditions. Winter storms could completely cut off the valley from the rest of the country. So the Indian government launched this ambitious rail link with a singular, vital goal: to smash through that geographical isolation and provide reliable, year-round railway connectivity.
But, as you might guess, the Himalayas did not make it easy. The region acted as the ultimate antagonist to human progress. Engineers weren't just fighting gravity here. They were fighting steep, unforgiving cliffs that dropped off into absolute nothingness. They were building on highly unstable geological conditions that shifted dangerously beneath their feet. They had to account for extreme temperature swings that make massive pieces of steel expand and contract violently. And maybe most terrifyingly, they were building in a zone prone to frequent and violent seismic activity. It was just a relentless, ongoing friction between human ambition and the raw, untamed power of nature.
Part 3. Forging the Giant Arch.
So how exactly do you counterattack an environment that seemingly wants to destroy whatever you build? Well, engineers realized very quickly that standard bridge designs would instantly fail out here. An arch design was the only geometric configuration capable of efficiently distributing the astronomical forces acting upon the structure. By channeling the immense weight, the extreme wind, and all that environmental stress safely down into the solid bedrock of the gorge walls, the arch became their ultimate weapon for stability. But actually building it, that was a completely different logistical nightmare. I mean, you can't just drive a standard crane up a sheer mountain cliff. So they essentially had to invent their own delivery systems. Step 1. Carve mountain access roads out of solid rock just to reach the site. Step 2. Deploy specialized massive cable cranes spanning the entire gorge, creating what was basically an aerial highway for materials. Step 3. Painstakingly transport and assemble those giant steel segments high up in the air. And finally, Step 4. Execute the terrifyingly precise center closure.
And that center closure, that is where the tension really peaks in this story. Imagine this setup.
You have construction teams starting simultaneously from completely opposite sides of a massive chasm. Piece by piece, thousands of tons of steel are creeping toward each other, suspended hundreds of meters up in the thin air. The precision required here is almost unthinkable. A single alignment error, we're talking a miscalculation of just a few millimeters, could have jeopardized years of painstaking work and spelled absolute disaster. It was truly a high-stakes, slow-motion ballet of heavy metal.
So the crucial point is that this completed bridge isn't just standing there looking pretty. It is actively fighting off the elements every single day, and it's winning. It's engineered to withstand wind speeds blowing in excess of 260 kilometers per hour. It's built to flex and resist the major earthquakes that frequently rock the Himalayan region. It easily endures an absolute gauntlet of temperatures, from freezing winters to scorching summers. And thanks to special corrosion-resistant steel and advanced protective coatings, this magnificent structure is projected to boast a lifespan of more than 100 years.
But engineers didn't just build it strong and walk away, leaving it to fate. Safety remains the absolute highest priority, which is why the bridge functions almost like a living organism. It's embedded with a highly sophisticated nervous system made up of modern sensors. These monitoring systems continuously, like 24/7, detect minute vibrations, measure stress levels in the steel, and track shifting environmental conditions. If the wind howls too fiercely, or the earth begins to tremble even a little bit, the bridge knows immediately. This ensures operational reliability and protects absolute passenger safety above everything else.
We've talked a lot about steel, concrete, wind speeds, and incredible heights. We've marveled at the engineering statistics and the sheer logistical impossibility of the construction. But seeing all these numbers brings up a vital question, one that moves us past the blueprints. What is the true purpose of this steel giant? Why dedicate decades of sweat, brilliant engineering, and incredible resources to span this specific gorge? Well, the answer lies far beyond the metal itself.
Part 4. Connecting Kashmir's Future.
And this brilliantly illustrates the real heart of the story. This bridge absolutely transcends its role as a mere feat of engineering to become a vital, beating lifeline. It isn't just about moving trains across a void. It's about connecting futures. It stands as a monumental symbol of development, closing a geographical divide that has dictated the pace of life in this mountainous region for centuries. Let's look at why this really matters to the people on the ground. By finally linking the Kashmir Valley directly to the broader Indian railway network, travel times are being drastically slashed. It's no longer a matter of weathering dangerous, unpredictable mountain roads. This reliable connection supports a booming year-round tourism industry, facilitates seamless trade, and opens up brand new avenues for education and regional economic growth. For the local communities, this bridge is a gateway to entirely new opportunities and a stronger, unified connection to the rest of the nation.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this thought. No challenge is too great when human ambition meets engineering excellence. The Chenab Rail Bridge stands proudly today as a global landmark, one that's studied by infrastructure experts all over the world. It proves that when we combine vision, sheer determination, and groundbreaking technology, the word impossible completely loses its meaning. The next time you look at a map or think about the physical or geographical barriers that separate us, remember the steel giant standing proudly above the clouds in the Himalayas. It really makes you wonder, if we can build a railway of steel above the clouds, what impossible barrier will humanity conquer next? Thanks for joining me on this explainer.